Hello, good afternoon, everyone. How are we doing today? So yesterday I talked about saving towards the festive season, and I'm sure a few people have said to themselves that am I going to be able to save from my small income? And I know that there was a time in my life where that was a big question on my mind. At the time, I was earning 38,000, and I was in a strange city. No friends, no family. I was by myself, and I was earning 38,000. And I understood, before that time that I needed to save something, no matter how small. And I also understood that the more aggressive I'm able to save, the likelihood that I'm going to leave that phase quicker, right? So I made the decision that I was going to save 20,000 from the 38,000. Now, just to give you a perspective, at that time I was in Lagos, I was jobless. I had a few gigs I did online, but the income wasn't. Most of them you always get thank you. You're very talented, you're very good at this, keep it up, but no payment, and at that time I really did not fully understand how to commercialize or make commercial gains from my knowledge and talent and all of that. So I was at the mercy of those who gave me the job to do. And at that time I was at a crossroad. I needed to get a job, and so out of desperation I went to Port Harcourt from Lagos and got a job. And man, it was a very crazy, rough experience, like 6 months of I saw Heaven's Gate and came back. But where I'm going with this is, so I got there. Unfortunately, I did not make inquiries before I took the job. I just accepted the job offer, without asking for the financial details. I only knew what my salary was on the day salary was paid after working for 1 month. I almost fell into depression, but then I asked myself, okay, at least something is better than nothing. In Lagos, I was not earning anything. I was just sleeping and waking up, and I needed to be earning something, because if you don't produce something, you cannot have something to work with. Yeah. So I made up my mind that I was going to save at least half of that income. So when I got to Port Harcourt, I was given an empty room without curtains. So the room was literally bare. Nothing was there. I remember the wrapper that my mom gave me to cover myself was what I used as curtains, for the time I was there, the 6 months I was there. And I didn't get a mattress until I think the 2nd or 3rd month, when I was able to afford it from my little savings. Yeah, but how was I able to achieve that with my small income? Now, Port Harcourt is quite an expensive place to live in. It's more or less like living in Lagos, without the crazy traffic, even though there's traffic now in Port Harcourt to a large extent, and it was a time of my life where I needed to make decisions. And at that time, I decided, okay, what sacrifices do I need to make to be able to save this much? And one of the things that came to my mind was, okay, now the job I had to resume at 7 in the morning. Staff bus leaves at 8, so I can't join the staff bus. And I have to close at 6. Staff bus leaves at 5, so I cannot join the staff bus. So what that means is that I either have to pay from my pocket or I improvise. So what I was doing then was walking from Abloma to Transamadi every day, morning and evening. On some lucky days, my boss will see me on the road and drop me by my junction. Even from the junction, Abloma Junction, to where I was living was quite a stretch, but at least it was better than walking all the way, and I would say that probably the checking of that period is what has helped me, not explode in weight, because I could not even imagine that I would go through that phase and be able to manage through it, But I started doing it. It was difficult because at that time I couldn't even eat well. I would eat once a day most times, because I have to leave early so that I can get to work. So I would, most times just survive on snacks, because I didn't have the time to cook except it's weekend. So most times I would cook bulk in the weekend, and of course I'll eat once a day, most times in the night, after all the checking of the day, to regain energy for the next day's checking, and I did not use my income as an excuse. I realized that whether I give the excuses or not, my circumstance is not going to change drastically if I don't have something to work with. Yes. So I started doing that. I would take the walk every day. I started telling myself that it's exercise. And after 6 months, I got an offer in Lagos that is another tragic story, but has an happy ending. Because this person calls me and offers me a job for 80k. I was earning 38k, so obviously that's double. I instantly agreed, and then I packed all my things. Well, some of the things I left: my stove, left the mattress, and left something in the room so that the next person coming will have something to work with. So I left many of the things that I bought, the pots and all of that, behind, and went back to Lagos. When I went for the interview, the person changed his offer and said that he cannot offer me 80k anymore, that because he only hears that I have skills, but I don't have certificates, so I don't have certifications to prove those skills. So he's going to cut down his offer. So he made the offer of 50k. Now, let me give you an idea of what that means. I was living in Igondo, and this place was in Lekki. So going from Igondo to Lekki every day, apart from the stress involved, that's 50k that was offered cannot take me anywhere. If I'm going to look at the cost of transportation alone. So I said, okay, I'm not going to argue about what you have offered, but give me transport allowance so that I know that, okay, my transport is covered. And he insisted that he's not moving from that point. Now, I was so livid. I went home, told my parents that, man, I'm very angry. I don't want to have anything to do with this. But my mom, well, she said that she understands, where I'm coming from, but she thinks that I should take the job, because at least I'll have something doing and I'll have some, source of income. That what they can do is to help me talk to somebody who is on the island to give me a place to stay so that I don't have to make the commute every day. Well, cut short story long, except the offer comes tomorrow. It never materialized. So I had to be going from Igondo to Lekki to VI every single day. And at that time, in fact, it was when I resumed that the man insisted that I have to do certification courses. Of course, the certification courses boost the profile of the company. And of course, it will help your CV as well. So I agreed. Unfortunately, he started taking it out from my salary. So the 50k that I thought, okay, this one at least is small progress, now became 40k. Yes. And if you know how Lagos is, Lagos is one place where you cannot survive on one income, much less 40k. but I didn't have a choice, so I started doing it. And then most of the time I will walk, some long distances to make up something to save. So when I was in Lagos, I started saving, I think about 16K, 16K every month. I will walk sometimes Igondo, Ikotun, most times in the evening, because in the mornings I'm always in a hurry, so I have to go through the other side. So why I needed to tell this story is that it's important for you to realize that no matter how small your income, keeping something for yourself in form of savings signals to money that this person needs more of me, and somehow opportunities will begin to materialize. It was on that job that I got an offer, that doubled, almost tripled my salary, with much less stress. And at that time I had moved to a more convenient place. In fact, many stories, but let me leave it at that. So there's no excuse. You can save with what you have, no matter how small it is, as long as you have an income, which means it's important for you to have an income, however small it is, because even if you don't have an income, you will somehow survive. That's the way life works. So if you will survive, it means you will survive with a little bit less as well, and that is what I wanted to share. Of course, pardon the long videos. I'm not yet used to short videos, but I think I will get there. Thank you for listening to my story, and catch you guys later.